On today's show, fortune favors the bold. Really? That's the opening line for the Dallas Mavericks after they take Cooper Flagg. Is that the lesson we learned here? We're going to talk about that and what the Mavs did on day 2 on today's Locked On Mavs. Stop it! Let's go! Stop! The number 1 pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all 5.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years. Thanks for getting every day, making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase. And joining me, the post-game prodigy on a gameless night from the Great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. Ankle broken, cast and all. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
It's not a game night, but these last 2 nights have had the feel of it. The feel of a big win.
It's kind of true. There has been like an event at least. There's at least an event in the NBA that we could talk about. So today's episode, we'll talk about the Mavs on day 2. All the things they did, which is sign two-way guys. And so we'll talk about those two-way guys and what they will bring. We'll really get into those guys. And then we'll also talk about a lot of the things Nico Harrison said in his press conference yesterday. A lot of stuff about 2 timelines, the anger directed at him, free agency, what his plans are. I've got many questions about some of the things he said. So Slightly and I will get into that. But let's start here. One of the big quotes that's making its rounds right now from Nico Harrison, at least today, was making its round. Nico Harrison was asked by Joey Mastretta about how his level of surprise that the Mavs won the draft lottery. And Nico Harrison went on to say, he was surprised and things happen. Fortune favors the bold. Exciting things fell our way. And I can't sit here and be like, yeah, right. I'm with you, buddy. Like, I'm right there with you, because the bold thing that happened, you brought it up on yourself. I guess it was a big risk, a massive risk. It doesn't seem like it panned out at all. A lot of the fan base turned on you, and it almost felt like we deserved karma because we took a big risk and now we got it back. And I just think that it sounded like he just missed everything that has happened post Luka trade. And it's just so frustrating to me to listen to a quote like that and be like, that was the takeaway from all that. It's like, you know what? I still think I did the right thing. It was a bold move, Cotton, and I'm benefiting from it right now. It's like,
I think it's an interesting life lesson, though. Like, that if you do take risks, that sometimes fortune does favor the bold. That even if you miss out on your original plan, which the Mavericks had of contending for a championship immediately, that sometimes fortune favors the bold. And even though you missed, you're still going to win it a roundabout way. Now, I wouldn't say for an NBA GM that's the smartest strategy necessarily, but in life it might be. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people who feel like they fail upwards. So
fortune favors the bold is kind of the Dallas Mavericks story in some ways.
That used to be Texas Tech's thing when Cliff Kingsbury was there.
Because the Mavs do make big moves. Like, they really make big swings. They take swings at Dwight Howard with the cartoon. Remember the superhero comic book thing?
Can I say something unpopular now that you're saying that? Because I was actually thinking about this earlier today. And maybe this is better saved. You know what? Let me save this for later and bring me back to the cartoon thing. Once we're done with
the Dwight Howard thing?
Yeah. Well, it's about just the Mavs in general.
They've taken big swings and they've been bold in the past, right? And then they've benefited. They've been a successful franchise. They had one of the best records through Dirk's career. Then they won the title, and then they got Luka, and then they went to Western Conference Finals, went to a finals. But they made bold moves all throughout that, letting Brunson go, trading Porzingis. The Luka trade obviously was the biggest one. Yeah. I just don't think that. I don't know that Nico Harrison understands why he does media to create a narrative, draft a narrative around him. But I just think that he missed the mark with this one. With fortune favors the bold. It's like, that's just not going to hit with a fan base.
So let me ask this. Is there a single thing he can say?
Maybe.
That wouldn't be dissected a million different ways, truth be told?
Probably not. But if he came in, okay, so the question was, Nico Harrison asked about his level. Yeah, we were very surprised. 1.8% is a really small percentage, but I'm really glad it worked out for us.
Yeah, true.
That's it. Like, just
True.
make it simple. Not be like hey, you know what? I benefit because I made a big move. And look, guys.
True.
It felt like the thing that he said after the Luka trade, where it was like, you don't see the vision now. None of you see the vision now, but you'll come along. Like you'll come along with me. And like, there's been a lot of Mavs fans that have been reluctantly, all right, I guess I'll come back. And because Cooper Flagg has just brought this fan base back to excitement again.
I mean, as he should.
Yeah, absolutely. But I thought that quote just completely missed it, and I was very frustrated when I heard it. And I saw a lot of people talking about it, and I was like, all right. Did you care about it?
No, I don't care at all. I don't care in the slightest. Let me just say, so for me, I've made my decision already. I'm rooting for the team. I'm going to continue to root for the team. They're the Dallas Mavericks. I've lived in Dallas for the vast majority of my life outside of college. So, like, I will always root for them. I've already made that decision. At this point, nothing Nico Harrison can say at a press conference will sway that, other than just annoying me. So I've just decided to not care about it. Cooper
But did
Flagg's
it
on the
annoy
team.
you?
I mean, it's just like, it is just a little bit like, why would he say that? But I'm not like, oh, I can't believe him. Like some people are. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Did they not have, I know they have a PR team. Is there not like hey, let's just quick and easy, in and out. No big statements. Just basically yes and no's.
Yeah, it just felt like it brought it back up again. I was like,
I mean, I know like anything he'll say will be a huge like viral thing, and Hoops Legion and all these things will tweet. They'll get a billion impressions.
He pointed back to it though, because what is the bold? What's the bold? Like, what is he? The only thing he could be referencing is the trade, right?
Maybe, but maybe he's just speaking on their. I still think we don't process the fact that for them, this trade wasn't what it is to all of the fans and us. Yeah. So for him, he might just be saying, we do things a certain way here. We're aggressive, and sometimes fortune favors that. It's not necessarily like we did this one thing. It's like this is how we move. We're aggressive, and fortune has favored that.
What did you think about the Jason Kidd quote that he had, where he was asked by Tim Cato about the rumors about Jason Kidd, and he said, "Are there still rumors out there about J. Kidd? I thought I shut those down. He will be the coach next year," and he said it definitively.
Yeah, I mean that's good. That's a good answer. Is that not?
Yeah. No, yeah, great. He has the say in it.
Yeah.
Like he's the one that came down and was like, all right, if he says that Jason Kidd can't go interview somewhere, then it is done. I did like that he came out and said, shut those down. He will be the coach next year. Like, great. Like vote of confidence for your guy, and just like reassurance to everybody. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Sure. I absolutely agree with you. I was wondering because people are like, this thing was still coming up. And then I was thinking to myself, I was like, why are the Mavericks not shutting this down? And then I thought, I was like, but they have shut it down. Like, I don't know what else they could realistically do.
Yeah.
And so him saying it last night, I thought it was really annoying. Like, one of the first questions Cooper Flagg gets asked after the draft, someone asks him, it's a Knicks reporter.
I know. I was right behind him.
Ask him like, hey man, have you talked to Kidd? Like, is he still going to be the coach? I'm like, what are you asking, bro? Like, what are these questions? Are you're trying to get a scoop on your story for the New York Post or whatever?
So that presser, so he gets taken off stage. He goes and does his interview like on TV and stuff. Then he gets taken back to this interview room where those questions got asked, and it was all people I had never seen before. Like I didn't recognize a single person besides the two local people in there that I knew from Mike Leslie from WFAA and from Fox. Like I didn't know anybody else in that room, so I don't know where those people were coming from, but they were coming out of the woodwork with questions, and I was like. The conspiracy theory question came out of there.
That one was insane.
Wild. I saw your clip on it, and that was about my response. I literally like Cooper Flagg and I made eye contact after that question got asked, and I just like shook my head like back and forth because he was just trying to figure out
like the Super Bowl like media day in there. Like they just kind of let anyone.
It was. There's so many people there. They opened the whole Nets practice court with a bunch of tables. It's the amount of media is like maybe half of what the finals was. The finals was like 1,000. Like honestly, it was 1,000 media members. But there's so many at the draft because you got to think there's college people there too. There's every team has people. You've got every market is represented there in some way. There's so many Dallas people were there. But yeah, that was wild. But yeah, the Jason Kidd quote, going back to it, it was he shut it down, and great. That's it. That's the end of it now, unless Jason Kidd makes another move. But I think that at this point, he's made the call to Cooper Flagg, and that feels to me like pretty telling that he's going to be the coach.
Yeah, I mean, and to Kid's defense, like I don't know what he could have done differently. Nothing really pointed to this being a real thing besides the Knicks wanting it to happen. You know, it never really felt from his side. They were hiring assistant coaches. Like there was nothing really. He was doing interviews about Kid.
At least publicly.
Right, publicly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and publicly, he's not going to come out and say, you know what, I kind of am interested in the next job. I did play there, guys.
But I'm saying though, like, even publicly, like the moves the Mavs made signaled that they were confident in their coaching.
Yeah,
you don't hire You're not like hiring lead assistants and stuff if it's up in the air big time.
They are losing assistants and potentially more here though, which is an interesting thing, which made it all seem kind of like it was in flux. But if you're somebody that looked at our week of Jason Kidd coverage and we're like, you guys are idiots, why are you covering this? Then like you feel like you're right now, right? Like,
I mean, it was a story though. Like it kept coming up.
Yeah,
like it was like the moment you thought it was over, it'd be like, hey, I'm actually hearing that Scoops B would come out. I actually just heard that he really wants to be the Knicks coach.
Don't you bring Scoop B on this podcast. Not in my house. Coming up, let's get into
slightly biased stream only thing.
I'm blocked by Scoop B.
Really?
On Twitter. I don't know. I can't remember why. Coming up, Nico Harrison doesn't believe in 2 timelines, but he kind of does. And I agree with him. And also, he doesn't think there's going to be as much anger towards him anymore. What do we think about that? We'll get into all that and more. Come on. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Skims Underwear. I got a text from a friend today after hearing my ad on yesterday's show saying, are you wearing Skims Underwear today? And I said, yes, because I am, because I'm wearing Skims Underwear. It's quality that you want to go back to again and again. They sent me a pair of Skims men's underwear and I liked it. And so I bought more myself. I tried Skims. I went to it. I went to shops. I went to Skims men's at skims.com. I checked them all out. I got the box of briefs. I love how they just hold their shape. I love how they, I like the color selection as well, which is like an interesting thing that you don't really think about sometimes with underwear. At least I don't all that much. Go check out Skims, and their new line offers something for everybody. Boxer briefs, classic briefs, all designed with the perfect balance of comfort and style. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com, SKIMS. Let them know that we sent you after you place your order. Select podcast in that survey, and you can put our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Check it out at skims.com.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Nico did. He shut it down. Thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, what we call our listeners, listening every day. We appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show. Thank you to everybody that subscribed to our Locked On Mavs text line. That has been awesome. We've gotten a ton of new people on there. We're sending all kinds of rumors. As soon as the two-way guys, Miles Kelly and Ryan Nembhard, got signed, Isaac and I were right on it. Send you a scouting report, send you exactly what you needed to know. That's what we're giving to you on that. And you can get it for a couple weeks free. And then after that, you support the show. And it's really awesome. 214-643-8637. There's a link in the description as well. Subscribe to the Locked On Mavs Insiders text line. All right, Slightly. Talking about some of Nico Harrison's comments from his press conference. One of them, he just kept saying over and over, and this is a thing that Nico and Jason Kidd just love to say, is that Cooper Flagg is a basketball player. He's asked about his position, and this is something I think you've even pushed back on me about talking about him being a two guard or talking about him playing guard or whatever, that Cooper Flagg is a basketball player.
Yeah.
Do we like this?
I mean, I agree. Like I was just talking about this a second ago, where it's just like you watch him, and I think, assuming his shot is good, because there's some mechanic stuff, I guess, where you might think, okay, maybe that shot's not going to be as good in the NBA as it was like 40% in college.
You're right.
But I would argue that all of the peripherals and stuff say that he's going to be a good shooter. That maybe he couldn't be a guard, but if he shoots well from 3 and can space the floor consistently, he could play guard. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like where he's best fitted necessarily, but he could do it and it would work and it would make sense. So yeah, I agree that he is a basketball player. You just put him out there. Like he's like a wing, like Dereck White to me, where it's just like, just throw him at, what does he play? Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He's on the floor. Like, he can do whatever we need him to do.
It's kind of hard to disagree that he is a basketball player. Just in general.
Literal sense.
But no, I think this is right. I'm with you that he can do everything. He can do everything on a basketball court. I've talked about it all summer with him. And I think that limiting him to a specific position is short-sighted with him. And I think you can't just plug him in anywhere. Now, where they actually plug him in, like you said, if they're going to try and play him next to PJ and AD and Lively, that's a completely different thing that we'll get into probably the rest of the summer. But That is a little different. There got to be your certain guard skills have to be really sharp in order to do that, and that's the thing I'm interested to see with that. Nico Harrison was asked by Isaac Harris about from Locked On Mavericks podcast about this. Why did I say it like I don't know him?
Who's that? This new guy.
He was asked about the two timelines. What does Nico think about the two timelines? And does Cooper Flagg, now have you started these two timelines with him? And Nico Harrison said, Cooper is additive. He's going to add to win now, but he also helps us win in the future. And if you just read that comment on its own, it seems like that is two timelines. But I actually agree with Nico Harrison on this because Cooper, usually with the two timelines approach, you've got a James Wiseman, a Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody, and they're young and they need minutes to develop and to come in, and it's going to take time for those guys. It's not going to take as much time for Cooper Flagg to come in and be productive, or at least come and help in some way. So it is two timelines in a way, but I don't think it's one where you need to set aside one timeline in order for the other one to eventually like happen. And then the two timelines, like a lot of the two timelines we've heard, like that Warriors one I just talked about, it didn't work because one didn't get the space to develop and the other one didn't get enough help from the young guys as it went. And this one won't be like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I kind of made this point earlier where it was like, all this talk about who the Mavs need to acquire and stuff like that. And I know people hate when teams say stuff like this, but it really is true. Like if Cooper Flagg were just a free agent, right? He would be, I think, entering the season, like assuming you get what we kind of expect we'll get out of Cooper Flagg, I think he'll probably finish next year around 70th, 60th best player in the NBA. Like I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, especially when you look at the like highly touted rookies. When those guys do have good years and like good rookie of the year seasons, those guys are always around that range, I would say. That, you know, yeah, that's a player you add a top 60 player, 70 player to your team. That's a very big boost.
Yeah.
And outside of like, unless there's a surprise trade or something like that we're not really focused on right now, I mean, he'll be, in my opinion, the third best player to be on a new team, if that makes sense, starting the season.
Oh, that will move? Like,
yeah, behind KD and Bane. So, like, you could look at it as the Mavs have made one of the biggest. You think Bane might be? You think he might be better than Bane?
No, I was just trying to think through who else could move.
Just Jordan Poole?
What are the Pelicans doing? I want to talk about that one.
Yeah, I don't know what they
What are the Pelicans doing?
The Jordan Poole one at first, I was like, this is it. I was looking, I was like, what is this trade? Like, the more I looked into it, I was like, this is a strange one.
There's something if they did the rooms like they do in the NFL, where it's like the wide receiver room, where all the wide receiver. If they did a guard room and it had Jeremiah Fears, Jordan Poole, and DeJounte Murray in it, like and Jose Alvarado, who's coming out of that? Who's coming out of that room?
I mean, I feel bad at beating a dead horse at this point, but that trade last night was just one of the most shocking ones.
I can't get over it. Everyone,
horrible.
Every show I listened to talked about it today, where it's like an unprotected pick.
I know. Look, I know, and rightfully so. We have bashed the Mavs front office very recently. I genuinely do not think they would do anything like that.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I don't know if we can.
No, I'm serious. I think there's ulterior motives and stuff with the big one, the big trade. I don't think they would do like a trade like that. I really don't.
Big one, extremely dangerous. Keep out of reach of children. Nico Harrison was asked about the anger directed towards him, and if he thinks that the Cooper Flagg drafting will lessen some of that. And he said, "I'm hoping so. I'm assuming so, a little bit, maybe." This is another one to me where it's like, just say like you don't have to answer the question like this. I'm hoping so. Be like, you know, they're entitled to feel how they want to feel, and you know, and we're just gonna try to win them back. Like that's never been the messaging from them. Is like, hey, we're gonna try to go win games and win them back. It's like, hey, I hope they come around.
Yeah. If some of these answers and stuff, and even dating back a couple months, make me think that I just don't know, and this might be for the better for them. I don't know if anyone in like big roles in the Mavericks is online, like in the slightest.
Kid
like,
is.
You think Kid's online? He's different though than like Nico and
in
like
some
the
way.
owners.
He's definitely online in some way. Remember that moment 2 years ago with my tweet?
Yeah.
He brought it up in a press conference unprompted.
Yeah, but it like Dumont being like, are they booing me?
No, he's not online.
But that's what I'm saying. Nico might not be online, so maybe they might not just.
He probably still
the
signs
pure
checks.
vitriol, the pure anger.
Coming up, I want to get into Nico's comments about free agency, and then we'll talk about the two-way guys the Mavs signed. They got a Nembhard. We'll talk about that and more. Come on. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Game Time. Oh, I'm excited about Game Time. I'm excited because I've been using Game Time. I went to a Wings game. I've been using Game Time for that. I've been using Game Time for concerts. I've been using Game Time for all kinds of things throughout this summer. You know that when you go to Game Time, you're going to get exactly the seat that you want because you can see the view from right there. They've got tickets. So the Fever Wings game that's tonight on Friday, if you're listening to this, is sold out. Completely sold out, but they've got tickets on Game Time, and they got a ticket for $104 right now. You can go check it out and see what they got there. All kinds of great stuff, and you can see exactly what you're going to pay at checkout because they show the fees right before you even check out. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA, all one word, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Slightly, we're talking about the Mavs. They're drafting, the draft. Nico, their general manager, comments. He had a couple comments about free agency. Free agency, by the way, starts July 6th, like 5 p.m. Central, right? Something like that.
Is that the official date they can sign, or is that like when you get all the rumors?
They open, I don't know. It's one of those, like, they
I
open
thought
it
was
up.
always July 1st is when you could start.
Oh, maybe that's the moratorium.
Yeah, the moratorium. Whenever you can start signing guys, or
Teams can begin negotiating with upcoming
June
free
30th.
agents beginning at.
Oh my God.
So
NBA does not mess around, man.
it's moving. Yeah, it's moving. Yeah, the teams may begin negotiating with free agents June 30th. Okay, so I was incorrect. The moratorium, where they'll actually be able to sign. But so June 30th, so it's coming up. The Mavs will be able to sign free agents. That is Monday. And Nico Harrison had a couple comments about that. He said, our goal is to get a piece that bridges the gap for Kyrie. But then he also said, not worried about finding someone to run the offense, someone to get us organized. What did you think he meant by that?
Okay, can you read the quote to me? I didn't read
He
all
said,
of them.
I'm not worried about finding someone to run the offense, just someone to get us organized. Because he was asked about, like, if you're looking for a guard, then do you need that guard to kind of replace Kyrie, or what kind of guard are you looking for?
I get exactly what he's saying, and yeah, that does make a ton of sense to me, 100%.
Why?
Basically, what he's saying is, I don't need someone to come in here and be on ball every time down the floor. I just need someone to, think like a Mike Conley type with the Timberwolves, where it's just like, we need a good look here. Give me the ball and let me set something up. Now that screams Chris Paul immediately off the top to me. I don't think it's going to be Chris Paul. Like a 1% chance it'll be Chris Paul.
Stein is still putting him in the rumor, and Shams putting him in the rumors that
really
the Mavs have interest. Yeah. And so that's the one where I thought he was done too. And we did a show saying I think it's off the table, and I still kind of think it's off the table. But if they can get him, he's still my number one.
Yeah. He'd be my number one too. That just seems so unlikely to me. And then the other names, like Brogdon feels a little bit more that way to me than D'Lo. But I think it's going to be D'Lo. Like, I think it'll be D'Lo 6 p.m. on Monday is what I'm expecting, 100%.
The Stein report where he says they're the leading suitor feels like they're down the road.
Yeah, but I get what he's saying because, when you think about how this offense will flow, especially without Kyrie, it's going to have to be – I think they're going to have to get out and run quite a bit. Defense to offense.
They're going to get stops.
Yeah, they're going to get stops. But I think it's going to be just kind of a committee thing in a lot of ways. Like, it's going to be Flagg playmaking at times. It's going to be give AD a ball screen and let him do something. It's going to be even like have AD set a screen and then give him the ball in the short roll. It's going to be a lot of bigs, like generating offense for you. Even Lively in the high post. It's
kind of going to be like what the Rockets did last year, right? Like I listened to our Locked On Rockets guy, and he's like, their offense is the power of friendship and like by committee. And by committee works until you need the committee to absolutely work in the playoffs, and then it just didn't, right?
And they have a Fred VanVleet, and the Mavericks do not.
Fair. Yeah, fair. And they still have Brandon Williams, who is going to initiate some offense for sure. You just don't want to put
love a Brandon Williams breakout. That would be incredible.
Just a leap where we're all of a sudden going, oh my gosh, like,
yep.
Are we worried about him not getting enough minutes when Kyrie comes back? You know what I mean? Like, if that's the conversation we're having with him.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to talk about these two-way guys. So the Mavs, according to Shams, have signed Miles Kelly from Auburn. It's a two-way guy. I think I'm going to get our Auburn guy, because we're really good friends, to come on and talk about him, Zach Blackerby from Locked On Auburn. But he's a 6'4 guard, reported 6'10 wingspan, and Zach sent me a picture of him, and it does kind of look like he has a long wingspan. Played 3 years at Georgia Tech, then played his last year at Auburn. Shot 38% from 3 on over 6 attempts last year on a really great Auburn team. Started like 36 out of the 38 games. And so starting on that team means a lot. You're a good basketball player if you can do that. And Zach said this about him. He said he's a 3-and-D guy, solid defender. He's long, what college considers long. He can get really hot. Played the first half of the season with a wrist injury. Once he got healthy, he started attacking the basket a little bit more. And this is a type of player you take a risk on as a two-way guy, right? Somebody that has some real skills, can defend, has a long wingspan, can hit a three. And you're like, all right, I know bringing you in, if we need you in a pinch, this is what you can bring to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm any guys like that are just kind of what you just described to me, prototypical kind of NBA role player in the year of our Lord 2025, 2026. Yeah, I'm interested in it. And I hope he does well.
I do too. Yeah, and I think that's an interesting signing, and I would like to see. I'm interested to see how he goes, how he plays. Mavs also signed Nembhard, not Andrew, not the one that we just saw in the finals, but his brother Ryan Nembhard to a 2-way contract. Isaac sent a great message in our text line about this immediately. Isaac really likes the signing. He wanted to trade. He wanted them to trade into the second round for him. He's really small. He's 5'11". Led the country in assists, ultimate floor general, knows how to play the game. He is the younger brother of Andrew Nembhard from the Pacers that I just mentioned. But this is the one where, like, if you need a setup guy, where the offense needs some organization and you need somebody in a pinch, he led the league. He led the country in assists, floor general. He's really small, but you've got a big front court behind him. So that's an interesting one too. And the Mavs definitely needed a guard in one of these spots.
Yeah, I mean, I just full disclosure, I looked at the first round guys. I don't know how much I have seen Ryan Nembhard stuff, but I know a ton of people wanted him to the Mavs to trade into the second round to get him. So this feels good value to me. And I'm 5'11". It's really hard to imagine, but a really smart player, and there's always value in that. Like there's always value in having another smart player on the court. And there's just, assuming he plays, I saw a hilarious tweet that I just want to read real quick because it's really funny to me, from Mavs Lad. He said, already got the put Nembhard in tweets in the drafts for when D'Lo's CTE flares up. So we're already getting ready to hate D'Lo. Put Nembhard in.
I like the degrees of separation to which I am separated from that tweet. It was read on my show. I would like everyone to know that it was not Slightly that said it. It was a tweet that we read on the show.
Oh, that's hilarious. But no, it feels like a great spot for him. I mean, two-way. I'm honestly wondering because I think they wanted to get Proctor. I really do. And Proctor signed a guaranteed deal with the Cavs. So I'm wondering if maybe they were talking to his agent and it was like, hey, we'd rather do the guaranteed deal than a two-way. And the Mavs are saying, we'd give you a two-way. Does that make sense? Like, we'll trade into the second to get you, but it'd be a two-way. And they were like, no, Cleveland will give us a guaranteed deal.
Yeah, right. Because there's that rumor that I just saw that the Mavs have interest in Dante Exum, but they may run out of roster spots because you signed some more guys. And like, there's that rumor about Kai Jones coming back too. And so you're like, you're running out of roster spots at this point, unless you make some trades at free agency.
With Flagg, it's 14, right?
Yeah, they got one left.
Oh, yeah. After the free agent who they're going to get, you'd have to start axing guys. Even bring Exum back, you'd have to axe somebody.
Not killing them, but like just
right.
Take them out.
86 them.
Trae Young, by the way, 6'1.5".
Trae Young,
Nembhard 5'11". Like is an inch.
Was that his combine?
Combine without shoes.
Okay, all right, that was his combine. I was about to say, is that what they're listing him as, or was that his combine? Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard in the NBA. I mean, how many under 6 foot players are there in the NBA currently?
Oh, Colin Sexton, 6'1.5" without shoes.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Aaron Holiday, 5'11" and 7.75.
5'11". Is Chris Paul? Chris Paul's 6 foot.
I'm gonna go through this and see how many.
Fred VanVleet's 6 feet.
It's possible. I just wanted to point out it's possible.
It is. And what's Scottie Pippen Jr.? I mean, he's not tall.
Oh, our guy McKinley Wright was 5'11". Carly Jones 6 foot. Davion Mitchell 6 foot even. Miles Bragg 6'1".
If you're a smart player, you will always have a chance.
Scottie Pippen Jr. 6 foot even without shoes.
If you're a smart player, you'll always have a chance. And that's, because it's not like his game is, I'm a scorer. Because there's been small guards like that, right? I think that, what was that? You get Kansas State guy. Do you remember who I'm talking about? Noel, something like that. But, I mean, he was a bucket in March Madness, and he was just like 5'10". And it was just like, he had no chance because it was just, scoring was his thing. And he was a playmaker too. But, when your game is facilitating and setting up and just being super smart, like a processor, we'll see. I wouldn't expect much. Don't go into it with expectations, guys.
But we like it as a two-way. That's what you take a risk. Perfect. You're like, hey, here's a guy that has real skills that you're like, oh, the knock on him is he's too small. All right, we'll try it out. Okay, the knock on Miles Kelly is that he struggled. He was like, all right, where's his role? What does he do? Okay, well, let's bring him in and try it out. Yeah,
I mean, two ways. Just why not?
Why not? Do the Russell Westbrook, why not? Right. Our friends at DLLS were arguing whether you would take Russell Westbrook or D'Angelo Russell right now.
D'Lo.
Really?
On this team, without a shadow of a doubt. They need someone who can shoot the ball. Like, what is that lineup going to be with Russ?
I think Stein and Kevin Gray both said Westbrook.
No chance for me. Not even for consideration.
Are the detrimental plays from D'Angelo Russell as detrimental as the detrimental plays from Westbrook?
Because you want to know what's insane?
You get both with both.
Yeah, you do. I went back. I was looking at D'Lo stuff today, and he has made his team so much better by on-off numbers for like the vast majority of his career. It made my jaw drop whenever I looked at it.
I asked our Lakers guys about him, and they're like, he really checked out last season at a certain point. And I think
bad there.
Last season was really tough for him. And so I think he's being really judged on that season.
Well, let me just look at his on-off numbers. The Nets were 7 points better with him on the floor. The Lakers this is last year, were 9 points better. Year before that, 4.5. Year before that, 12.7. And the offenses are always better. So it's like, when the playoffs come around, you better hope he's not in your rotation. But for like the first 3 or 4 months,
somebody compared him to he's a less confident Tim Hardaway Jr. that can dribble, and I'm like, you know what? That's what this team needs right now. Like, I'm okay with that.
I don't know if I'd compare their play styles because he is a good playmaker.
It's not the same play style, but it's like that you're getting.
I would say more like, I'm trying to think Mavs term, higher upside Spencer Dinwiddie with the same green light, but probably makes more.
A little smaller,
doesn't defend as well, but like the way you look at Spence and say he's not like the worst defender, but he's not the best. It's like how you'd say D'Lo is like a playmaker.
I just heard there's at least one Mavs fan out there when you said he's a less good defender than Dinwiddie, just like fell down on the floor.
Dude, we had post game shows and we were like, they think Spence is good defensively.
How many times they put him in an defense substitution?
They think he's good defensively.
Go check out Slightly Biased's YouTube channel. Great stuff, and Slightly Biased clips on YouTube. I'm enjoying the clips channel. Go check out all those great things over there that he's doing all the time. We'll have shows as well. We'll have a show post Nico's and Cooper Flagg's introductory press conference on Friday. Guys, thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom.
Conspiracy.